Hear ye, here comes the judge. It is the Yogi Judge, Judge Dawson, coming to you with another podcast aimed at giving you information that you can use to take your life to the next level. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, doesn't matter where you are. I just hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great moment. You know, speaking of that, we all have bad moments. We all have times where we're wondering, what is it that I'm doing? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Well, I can't give you the answers to all of those questions, not all of the time. But what I can tell you is that your destiny is to be great. Your destiny is to be amazing. So don't let anyone tell you that you are less than great. Don't let anyone tell you that you are destined to fail, because your destiny is greatness. And how do I know that? Well, because I'm a judge, and I see people all the time in my courtroom who have destroyed their lives because they just don't realize how magical and how great they are. And I don't intend for this podcast to be mushy or woo-woo, but I'm just telling you the truth. The truth of the matter is, you do not have to settle for a less than great life. You do not have to settle for a less than amazing existence. Yes, there will be ups and downs. There will be times when you just don't feel like even getting out of the bed. But I want you to know that you are still amazing and that you can still be whatever it is you want to be. So if you appear in my courtroom for any of the charges that I normally see, domestic violence, assault, heck, murder, remember that that is not your destiny. And that's why I do these podcasts, because I come across so many people who've messed up their lives for the moment. And I want them to know that they can rebuild one step at a time if they simply employ tools and techniques to take them to the next level. One of the tools and techniques is making sure that you realize that you are a cycle breaker. Yes, you can become a cycle breaker. That's been a movement that I've established in my courtroom since I've been a judge. And in fact, I was preaching the cycle breaker message even when I was a lawyer before becoming a judge. But now I have this platform, and my goal is to use every single moment that I have to energize and inspire people to be the best that they can be. So I talk about being a cycle breaker all the time. So what is it? What does it mean to be a cycle breaker? And I've said it before, and I will say it again because it bears repeating. To be a cycle breaker, I have identified 4 elements of being a cycle breaker. The first one is you have to recognize the need for change. What in your life, what in your situation or circumstance needs to change? And that's the key with being a cycle breaker. And oftentimes it's a step that we don't take. See, we get so used to our lives. We get so used to what we're doing. We get so used to our environment that we don't see anything wrong with it. My cousin went to jail. My uncle went to jail. So you know what? That's just what happens. If you get in trouble, you go to jail. So it's no big deal. Or, my auntie was a stripper. My cousin was a stripper. So you know what? If I need to make some extra money, I'm going to go ahead and strip. And I'm not saying that that's a terrible profession, but I'm saying that just because things have been going in that direction for years and in your family, and that's what you've been exposed to, does that mean that it has to be your life? See, that's exactly what I'm talking about when I mention that you can be a cycle breaker. Because you don't have to settle for the same destiny that was someone else's destiny. You can say, you know what, I want my life to be a little bit better. And in fact, not only do I want my life to be a little bit better, my life will be a little better. So when we talk about being a cycle breaker, we have to understand the first step is to recognize there's something that has to change, something that can be better, and therefore I will make it better. And then the second element of being a cycle breaker is then committing to making the change. Because many of us are really, really good at saying what we need to do. We're really, really good at saying, you know what, one day I'm going to do this and one day I'm going to do that. But the question is, can you commit right now to living your best life? Can you commit right now to changing or to stop doing the things that you know are keeping you in bondage? Can you commit right now to loving yourself enough to stop being addicted to drugs, to stop being addicted to alcohol, to stop being addicted to sex, whatever it is? And when I say love yourself enough, I mean love yourself enough to try to commit to it, because that's the next step, to at least set your mindset to saying, I'm going to commit to breaking this cycle. And then after you've committed to breaking the cycle, okay, now we can work, right? Because what I'm telling you now is you need tools and resources to help you get to the next level. None of us can win the championship on our own. Life, just like sports, it requires a team in order to win. There are rarely any sports or any athletic achievements that were done simply by one person being a one man or one woman show. It required teamwork. You may see one person out there doing it, but behind the scenes, they had a whole team of people. They had coaches and trainers, nutritionists, whatever it is. The same thing applies to you and I when we're talking about being a cycle breaker. Who's a part of your team? Who are the people that you can rely on when you need good advice? Who are the people that you can go talk to when you need someone to tell you the right thing to do or the right way to respond? And I'm going to tell you this is really important. We all have friends and associates, but you have to be able to put them in categories, baby. And let me tell you what I mean by that. There are some good-hearted people who will tell you some bad advice. There are some good-hearted people who won't tell you when you're wrong. I mean, they're so nice and maybe too nice. They say, well, you know what? She's so sweet. I'm not going to tell her this. Or, he's my boy, so I'm not going to tell him what he's doing. No. They're people that's cool with you, but they're not a part of this formula for being a cycle breaker. Because when it comes to being a cycle breaker, you need people in your life who are going to tell you exactly the way it is. You need people in your life who are going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get to the next level, and they're not going to worry about hurting your feelings. They're not going to worry about you not being able to handle it in the moment, because achieving your goals are so important that you want people to keep it real with you. So when we talk about committing and then getting the resources, that stuff is important. Because if you don't have the right people around you, if you don't have the right resources, you will never be able to break a cycle. And then after you've identified the cycle, you've made a commitment to making change, and you've gotten the people, places, and things around you that will help you grow, now it's time to get going and to hang in there when it gets tough. Basically, don't quit. Don't give up. Now, that won't mean you won't get tired. I mean, you will get tired. Life, we're human. There are days when I don't feel like getting out the bed. There are days when I'm like, man, when I go to court today, how many people am I going to see who've messed up their lives? How many people am I going to have to deal with who have destroyed their future based on decisions that they've made? How many times can I give the same speech over and over again about people making mistakes and they can do better? Well, let me tell you, I'm going to have to do it over and over again because that is my particular mission. So what's your mission? What's the cycle that you want to break? What's the commitment that you made? How is the team that you put around you and the resources and the books and the videos, how are they helping you stay lifted and stay informed? So if you have all that together, now you got to stay in the game. See, quitting is not an option. Resting is essential. It's important that you rest. It's important that you take time out. It's important that you take that power nap. But quit? No, you don't have to quit. Your destiny is right beyond the moment that you are ready to quit. The cycle that you're ready to break is right there in front of you. But if you quit, you'll never find it. And that's all I have to say today, ladies and gentlemen. I don't make these conversations long because if you want to hear me talk forever, you can go to my YouTube page. I put up videos every week. You can subscribe to my email list, Dose of Positivity, where I write about these subjects. So the purpose of these podcasts are to be nice and quick, but full of information, full of power, passion, and inspiration. Hopefully you've gathered that today. Because I really believe inside of all of us, there's greatness. You are not destined to be in a bad relationship, a bad situation. You're not destined to go to jail. You're not destined to be broke. Instead, your life, your best life, is right there waiting for you as soon as you're willing to commit to doing it. And it doesn't have anything to do with being rich financially or being able to brag on social media about how many cars you have. It's about being happy and having joy because you are living as a cycle breaker and you're living your best life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time for you today. I got to go to court. It's time for me to go be the judge. Here comes the judge. This is my podcast. I thank you for tuning in. I hope you share this with someone, subscribe, go to my website, judgedawson.com, where you can connect with not only this type of information, but even my yoga practice, because that's a whole nother level of commitment that can help you go to the next level. But until then, until we reconnect, continue to be the best you can be, continue to break those cycles, and as the Yogi judge, I'll say, namaste.